We're here with St. Lawrence's forward line, Hannah Miller, Brooke Webster in the center, and Kennedy Marchment at the end. I guess the first thing I was asking you guys, I heard you guys are called the goal line. I was wondering if you knew how that nickname started and who came up with it and what it means.
Well, at the beginning of the season, our coach Wellesley just kind of like gives everyone jerseys, and we have like a gold line, green line, blue line, and no one wants to be the gold jersey just because they're really ugly colors. So of course he made us be gold. So ever since then, that's just what he calls us.
Okay, so it's got nothing to do with like being like leading the nation.
No, it's fully just
the jerseys are actually yellow.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he calls us gold.
Last year they were supposed to be for people that were injured, so you could see the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like the ugliest jerseys.
So yeah, it has nothing to do with like
Anything
anything other than the color.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I was also curious, listening to you, if you guys had any theories why you guys have seen it mesh so well as a group together. And I saw you started playing together kind of late last year, but you know, any idea why you guys have been so successful together? Anyone?
Well, yeah, I mean, me and Kennedy have played together pretty much like, well, I'm a year ahead of her, but her whole career. So this is our third year together now, and Hannah came in, and originally he wanted her on a different line as a center, but at the end of last year when we were playing Princeton, he just decided to like try us out together, and we meshed really well. So he, at the beginning of this year, he just asked us if we wanted to try it again, and we were like sure, and then since then it's just been good. So like we have good chemistry just because of how long we've played together.
I think another part of it is like we're all very different players, so you take like those different aspects and as a line it kind of comes together.
I was curious, like, at what stage of the season did you guys realize just how good your team was going to be? Was there any particular game where you kind of all thought, well, we could really be a good team this year? Or, you know?
I'll speak to that. I think for me it was pretty early. We obviously had that first exhibition against McGill, which didn't go our way, but when we went down to Northeastern and we had two really good games down there, our first game we kind of blew them out of the water right away, and then our second game was super tight, and we were down and we got to win it with a minute left or something like that. So like games like those really tell a lot about your team's character. So I think those were the two big ones for me.
And you guys have been, in the past you guys have had to go on the road for the playoffs. How excited are you about a chance to get to host a series finally? It's been a while since St. Lawrence got to host a playoff series. What are you looking forward to about this weekend?
I think it's just really exciting, like not having to travel. Like even last weekend, like I think bus legs got to us a little bit. Like traveling to Cornell Colgate, so I think that's nice. And the program hasn't had home ice in like a super long time, so I think that's really exciting for the whole team.
And obviously, if things go to form, you guys wouldn't have to go very far either for the next week or two. How nice of a perk would that be if it's either here or just 10 minutes away for the ECAC finals?
Yeah, I think we're actually obviously playing at, well, we have to get through this weekend, but playing at Clarkson is always tough, but I think we're pretty happy that we were kind of, when we figured out that we couldn't get it, we were kind of rooting for Clarkson to get it because we still get to be at our own campus, sleep in our own beds, which I think will be an advantage for us for sure.
And if it is there, you guys would be the home team in your game. Would it be kind of weird to be using their bench?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we'll like that too much.
I was going to ask you too. Obviously, you all three were here a couple years ago when you opened the year at Clarkson, and they had their banner ceremony and stuff. What was kind of going through your mind then? Was there any motivation of like someday we'd like to see St. Lawrence get one of these while we're still playing? I mean, what was kind of going through your heads if you remember a couple years ago when you were there for that ceremony?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that obviously.
So
she wasn't here at that point, but we were.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that was awesome. Like having an ECAC team win a national championship really makes our league look really good. So, I mean, obviously Clarkson, we don't get along with them too well, but we were happy for them that they could win that for our league. And I think ever since then, obviously that's our goal, but I think this year it's been more like of a realistic goal because in the past we've never been ranked this high. Where like we could potentially get a bid to the tournament. So I think now that we've been ranked high and we've been doing really well, it's more realistic. So I think that gives us more motivation for sure.
I did wonder too, because obviously, like you had mentioned, you guys have usually been like last year. I think you guys won 2 more games than you lost. What's been different this year, though, especially in the second half, when you've sort of been like a target for other teams because you're like, oh, you got the number 1 or number 2 or whatever team in the nation coming in here. Has it been different playing at all this year as a favorite compared to past years, where maybe you're going to upset somebody instead? Or
I can speak for my own opinion on it, I guess, not your guys', but I don't think it makes a difference, honestly. you as an elite level athlete, you go into every game preparing the same way and each day and everything like that. I know it's always kind of nice to be the underdog, so it's definitely a bit of a different perspective, but it's been fun so far this year.
I guess I was going to probably told you guys about before we started talking. I was going to have each of you kind of talk about somebody else in the line just to kind of get an idea what they bring. So I'll start with you, Hannah, if you want to talk about Brooke. What are some things about her game that you kind of admire, or what do you think she kind of does for your line?
I don't think I've ever played with anyone who can put the puck in the back of the net like Brooke. Honestly, just a nose for the net, and any loose scramble, you know she's going to be the first one on the puck there. With Brooke, I think a lot of it is her mindset, like coming into the game, like every little battle that she goes into, like I can play differently because I know that she's going to be coming out with the puck like 9 times out of 10. So I think it's the mindset and just like a complete knack for scoring that not a lot of women have in our game. So that's pretty special.
This is about Kennedy too. We put you on the spot. What do you like about her?
I mean, Kennedy is probably one of the smartest, most skilled players that I've ever played with. She has the ability to like slow the game down and just kind of take control. I mean, I can just it's nice playing with her because I can kind of just send a puck up to the wing and I almost know that she's like 99% of the time she's gonna get the puck, even if there's a 50-50 battle, and you have amazing hands, so you always put the puck in the back of the net as well.
Last year, Katie, what do you like about Hannah's game for you? What she brings to your line?
I think she's a very smart hockey player. She plays a game that plays 200 feet of the ice, so which is very beneficial to me and Brooke. She's really strong in the defensive zone. She also can put the puck in the back of the net, which helps our line be so successful as well. And I think that her benefit towards me and Brooke is that she's a very good playmaker, always has her head up, and is really able to see the ice really well.
And the last thing I was going to ask you guys can all talk about this one in whatever order you want. I was just curious, how well do you guys kind of get along? You know, when you're not playing hockey, like do you hang out together, or do you see enough of each other at the rink that you don't need to see each other off the ice, or are you guys pretty good friends, off the ice?
Yeah, I mean, we all get along pretty well.
Yeah.
There's definitely been no problems on our line. So that's a benefit because, if we get along off the ice, then it helps our on-ice chemistry, I think.
Either one of you say anything?
I agree with that.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, we're all pretty good buddies.
Thanks again.